Welcome everybody to the Saturday TKO race number 2. Didn't really expect to make it to the second race. My goal for the weekend was just to complete the first race, even if I didn't do it in the time limit. So everything from here on was just a bonus. Got a fellow Source rider here to my left, racing today. I hit the same hole as I did on race 1 and didn't commit, so kind of got hung up a little bit. Here's my wife's point of view. She filmed this. A couple of public sections of the race. I didn't go over and look at the track. I just kind of assumed it was going to start the same way it did the TKO 1, and they changed it just a little bit. And got up here and seen Tyler up here giving me directions, so I appreciate the help, and he got me headed in the right direction right here. After race 1, pretty give out. Got cooled down, got some fluids in me, got a little bit to eat, and it was a lot hotter for the second race than it was for the first one, so was expecting it to be a long 2.5 hours. Got right here and seen this line. I thought it might be a hot line to get up the hill, but it was just a line that went nowhere. This was a guy, I think it was Tyler Anderson. He races sort some too, and we went back and forth. I'd get by him, and he'd passed me. And we'd done that 4 or 5 different times throughout the day, and finally he passed me and checked out. I never did see him again, so I reckon he picked up the pace, and I probably slowed down a little bit because I was getting tired. This was, other than that little bit of rock up by the bridge, so far it's the same as what race 1 was. They basically run the same lap, but they added 3 or 4 tougher sections in on it to make it a little bit harder. Some folks down here watching the creek crossing, and I just went back to the same spot that I had done in race 1. Done about the same thing, so main thing is I didn't get hung up and fall back down. So sorry about the cussing there. Hit a rock and actually ended up breaking my big left toe. And I had actually in January I had just broke my spiral fractured my fibula on the same leg, and was just really, this is the first enduro since then, or really the first race I've done, and so it was hurting, but it wasn't hurting nothing like what my fibula was, so I just kept on going. My toenail, it smashed my toenail, and my toenail had just grown back from when I broke my fibula, and I think I had just cut it before the race, so this one probably ain't gonna be around very long. This is a new section that they added from race for race number 2. It's a creek section, and it was pretty rough, just a lot of rocks. I think this is some of the sweepers here. Getting a little encouragement from them. I tell you, when the pros raced on Sunday, it's amazing to watch them come through the rocks and stuff. You know, they very seldom do they put their feet down there. They just are very good. Must have excellent balance, and they just bounce right on through here. All of this is same card as what they had for race number one. Didn't really show any of this in the first video because the camera had fogged up and you couldn't hardly see anything. Everybody that watched race number one, appreciate you hanging in with the quality of the video. It's pretty bad. This race it didn't fog up, so it stayed as clear as it could be anyway. We're getting close to the uphill swamp. Ain't got too much further, I think, until we get there. Got right here and had to drop down off of a rock, and I don't know what happened. I seen the rock coming towards me as I went to the ground, kind of knocked me around pretty good, kind of knocked the air out of me a little bit. I appreciate the guy that was standing up there coming down to check on me. Had to sit there a minute and make sure everything was still good. I just kind of rolled down to this flat spot to get out of everybody's way. I decided I'd take my goggles off, get me some water, and regroup. Ended up having 5 or 6 folks get back past me. There goes Tyler back by me. I think this is heading down the hill. get ready for the uphill swamp. Brothers Tony and Tyler, they were here helping guide me towards the easier lines, and I appreciate their help. They raced the first race and hung around and helped me out for the second race, so I appreciate all their help. There's Tony there, and Tyler's down here. He gives me some much needed water, because that was when I wrecked up there. That was the first time I'd stopped and drank any water, so I was ready for a good drink. I hadn't actually looked at the hill yet, so I didn't know what they were talking about, the hill, but from the looks of the bike sitting around, didn't really look like nobody was anxious to jump up there and get on it. He gave me a little strategy talk, and got here and looked up there, and it was kind of intimidating. All the smoke, the rock, hills, and my wife Sash, she's filming the second point of view, and I'll have it up here in just a second. And I'd like to thank her as well, for she supports me 100% and comes with me and helps out immensely. She's my trainer. Keeps me working, trying to get better, and so I appreciate all the help that she gives me. The hill, the cameras don't really do them justice. It don't look like that bad, the hill, just looking at the camera, but it was a pretty good little climb. I figured might as well get on and give it a go. Wasn't gonna get up and sitting there. I was running the, I bet, front and rear. I think I started off 3 pounds in the back tire, and it really, in my opinion, gripped really well, pulled real good, and surprised me at how good a grip it did have. Appreciate all the encouragement everybody was giving me. So that was, I think that was pretty much to the top.
About halfway.
This was a pretty steep downhill here, and I could hear motorcycles revving up and could tell that they were going right back up the same hill. So it looks a lot steeper looking down it than it does coming up it. And so I kind of stopped and looked for a second. I thought we was just going to turn right here and come right back up it, but I actually had to go down the creek a little ways. These two young guys here, they were handing out water, so I was thankful to get some of that. Drunk a bottle and they poured some down my back. I took a little breather, and it was really tired by now. I was beat down pretty good, so took advantage of the water break.
Thank you.
Sorts buddies. Tanner, he was going to race, but due to an injury, he wasn't able to race. So he gave me some guidance on what to do here on the hill. So I appreciate that. And he also done a different point of view film. So I'll have it up as well. And but I know it was tough for him to come up here and watch everybody ride, and him not be able to since he was injured. So hope him a speedy recovery, and hope he's back out there soon, because he's a pretty fierce competitor.
If I stay right, I can go slow and just gear.
I'd like to thank my buddy Alan. He lives in Toonesboro, Georgia. He's got a hill on his property, and that's the only hill I had access to go practice on. So I went over there several different times and practiced. They wasn't as big as the hills up here, but still that was the only hill I had access to. So I appreciate him letting me go over and ride. getting close to my batteries dying, so I had to use a couple of my older batteries, and undoubtedly they don't have as good a life as my others because they didn't make it through the whole race. But anyway, I was beat pretty bad. Physically a tough race. I took the advice of some of the locals that told me just to pace myself and save some for the end, and that was good advice because I probably wouldn't have made it if I hadn't just took my time and stayed steady. So I thank them for all the advice that they gave me, and I made it within the time limit. I think I was 151 out of like 239 or something. Right here was my Flash had filmed this. This was kind of the end of the first race, and I forgot to put it in on the first video. So, but this is the end of the second race, and you can see a lot of difference. I ain't moving quite as fast, and just wore out, just beat down, and Tony and Tyler there giving me encouragement, and everybody else. I was out of gas, just trying to struggle to get to the end. You can see the guy there, Rocks. They just took everybody down. So anyway, I do appreciate everybody watching. At least the video was a little bit clearer on this race, so everybody like what they see and hit subscribe, and I try to keep putting out videos when I can. So thanks for watching, and see y'all next go round. And to top the weekend off, I ended up with a silver medallion. So great weekend was had.
Go, Frog!